Okay, so like I said, if you've been confused at all about what's been going on the team and you're like, what is happening? Kim went like MIA for like a week here and like there hasn't been that much stuff on the team page and what the heck's going on? And there's been back and forth and I feel like it's just been a little bit of a mess. And I apologize, but I will say life is messy. Motherhood is messy. Business can be messy. It happens. And I hope that tonight's call really, really helps just kind of everybody know what's going on and that it will explain. So first, I wanted to share some news. Like if you listen to the National Wake Up Call or you looked at the FAQ or you checked out what I posted on our team page a few days ago, which is my Diamond Insider. So for coaches who are Diamond and above, they send you an email about 3 days before the month ends so that you have a heads up on what the promotions are, which helps you be able to talk to clients. Like if you're like, oh, this is changing. Hey, it's your last chance to order this. Or hey, it's not actually your last chance. So don't worry, if you have to purchase, it's still going to be the same price, stuff like that. So what I will tell you that the thing I'm most excited about is I've been sharing with y'all a little bit about the power of positive affirmations and stuff. And there are so many things that I have said for years in this business and not actually done. I'm just going to be honest about that. Like for a couple years, I did personal development like a check on my list. I didn't truly get it. I didn't. I'm just gonna be honest. It takes time sometimes. And, or at least a year in the business. And then I really feel like the morning routine thing took me a long time in the business to get. Now that didn't mean I didn't get results. I got great results in the business without doing those things, but we get there a little bit at a time, right guys? Like we don't get there all at once. So give yourself some grace and your patience on your journey. But lately I've been hearing from a lot of top coaches and those of you that were at Summit with me, they talked a lot about beliefs. And that was our theme at Summit was believe in yourself, believe in you. And the power of what we speak into existence and what we, manifest and da, 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 da. And so I have been realizing one of the things that I'm like, okay, if money was no object and if no one would call me crazy, like what things would I want to happen in my life over the next couple of years? And dreaming big, like things that you probably wouldn't even say out loud to anybody, right? And one of the things I said is I'm like, I want to be in a coach test group. Like I want to actually be one of the ones that's trying the program that gets exclusively invited by Beachbody before anybody else ever does it. And interestingly enough, if you saw, for the very first time, Shaun T, everybody has a trainer, right? Like you have like your soul trainer. We all have a favorite. Shaun T's always been mine. He was my first Beachbody when I finished a program start to finish. He's my guy. And so when I heard about this, I was pumped because I had just told God about this. I told my husband about it. I'm like, just so you know, this is where our ship is sailing. I am going to do this and this and this. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm telling you that it is. And by the way, here's the big scary one. I'm going to be in a Beachbody DVD video filming one day. Mark my words. I'm not going out of here. God's not calling me home until I'm on one of those, because that has been like what I did as a little girl. I filmed myself. And to be honest, to be super ballsy, I want to make one. Like, I want to be like Autumn Calabrese. It could happen, right? Like I could totally do like a postpartum thing or yoga. I totally want to do like a face. Like if I do holy yoga and we'll just see. The next Chris Downing right here, right? Totally undiscovered. Maybe they'll discover me on YouTube. But Shaun T, his test group, they've actually opened up for the first time ever. It's not just an exclusive thing for top coaches. It's all about your Success Club points in the month of August. And you could get exclusively invited. You guys know that Emily Favre, who I've talked to you about, her business, when she got invited into the test group, she had 4 miscarriages in 1 year. She was in the worst place with depression. She said she just was at such a low point in her life. Her husband is military, right? So he is gone all the time. And she shared that she was at such a low point in her life. And then her coach, Ashley Molstad, who's our #1 coach right now, got invited into the 80-day obsession test group because she was, I think, pregnant, or maybe like her kid popped out that day or something. She couldn't do it. And they asked her, like, stop, Megan, stop. So they asked her what, is there anybody else you can think of? And she said Emily, because she knew how much Emily was struggling. And Emily got that call, and I told you guys on our last team call that she was like, okay, like she was super freaked out and super afraid and didn't know if she could do it, didn't know if she wanted to do it. And she sat on her bed and she said, okay, Emily, you can kind of sort of do this, and it can kind of sort of change your life, or you can totally do this and it can totally change your life. And that's what she did. And she finished that program, and she committed to sharing her results every Sunday, like her progress, sharing her entire journey. She said her social media was totally different. She had never shared so unashamedly all this stuff. So I'm already being too long-winded on this tiny little point, but I want to say that she went from diamond in February to 15-star diamond in June. Sorry. It was like a 4-month period. Nobody has ever in the business ever done that. They have been studying her and what she's been doing. And she's like, the #1 thing is I literally committed to a program. I got invited to an exclusive test group and I went all in. And that opportunity is there for any one of us. And just so you know, it's going to be way harder for me than it is for any of you. But if God has this for me, I trust him to make it happen. So this is for people who are, I believe it was diamond and above. I'm sorry. So there's diamond and below, like new coaches. So if you signed up anytime, you guys, between January and the month of August, you are in that pool with all those new coaches. You guys could hit SC like 15. And even if that sounds crazy to you, like that's like 7 or 8 people. That literally, and some of you are already getting results from Lift 4, right? That you can share your halfway progress on like Sunday, and you can have 5 friends join you right there. Like, I mean, Jessica Alm did that like once, I think, like where she shared her results and got like 3 people signed up from that. So can you even imagine what would happen if you shared consistently like that, right? So she literally, that could happen for you guys easily. You guys could be in an exclusive test group doing a program. Just don't play it small and don't think that couldn't happen for you. And I'm Phoenix. I have the floor. This is not time for you to talk. So I literally feel like it is most talkative dog in the entire world. Possible for any one of us. Now it's going to be harder for me because I'm linked with Ashley Smith and Ashley Molstad and Melanie Mitro, and that's my competition because Star Diamond and above is a whole different pool. So I've got my work cut out for me. No, God has his work cut out for him. But it might happen. And I find it funny that right after I put that and wrote that down and started speaking that, this invitation happened, which has never in 3.5 years that I've been coaching with Beachbody ever happened before. So get those affirmations down, ladies. Dream big. So there's news like that. So check your back office. I don't want to waste time because I already wasted too much time talking to you about that. But know the promotions, like to be mindset, all that kind of good stuff. And that way, when people are asking you, you know what you're kind of marketing, you know what you're going to do and all that. So for recognition, I really just I was going to do a whole slideshow and I didn't have the time for it. I apologize, and I'll explain why, because I've been shifting some priorities. But Stephanie was our leader for the month of, our team leader, our top leader for the month of July. And I know she didn't beat her best. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't beat my best. I tied my best. If I would have had a girl who purchased the next morning, if she would have done it when she said, I would have, but that's okay. Whatever. I'm still happy. And I know a lot of you pushed hard, and that's what matters, is that you make progress, right? And you do more than you would if you wouldn't have pushed. Hi, Christy. So also wanted to give a big congrats to Amanda on the call. Amanda Joy is our team's newest Emerald, her and Nika Asher. And Nika probably won't be on a call because she's actually not trying to coach. God's just sending her people through church that she's just like, boom, I signed up my friends. So she's kind of just a discount coach. And then Marissa reclaimed Emerald, which is really exciting. So it was a big week. Okay, team calendar. So this is going to shift. I will be sharing it from now on. But I need you to stay tuned for the team calendar. I'll probably post it tomorrow because a lot is changing, and that's what I want to explain on the call. So a lot has been on my heart lately, and I'm just going to share open with you guys because you guys are like family to me. And I know that was what made this tough, is I wasn't sharing all that much for a couple of weeks because you can't share what you don't know. And I'm sure you've watched my live videos or whatever, but I feel bad for new coaches that came onto the team and were like, wait, what's going on? Because like in 3.5 years, this has never happened before, where I've had times where it's been tough and I've had times, all different kinds of shifts in the business, but this is definitely the biggest something. So you guys are going to go through, I don't ever want to hide these things from you. I don't want to, you guys know how much I value transparency and just being authentic. And honestly, I overshare. You guys know that I overthink and I overshare. So I am telling you things, and I have told you things that if it was you, none of you probably would have told me. I can't tell you how many coaches go through rough patches in their marriage and their business and their other jobs in their lives, and they don't tell me anything about it. I see that they're not posting as much. I see that they're not in the challenge group as much. I see that they're falling off a little bit. And I usually wait for some kind of comeback post. I try to check in, but very honestly, most people don't include me like a friend in their personal life, and you don't have to. But that's very much who I am. And so I apologize if anybody felt in the dark about anything, or if anybody was confused, or if any feelings were hurt or anything as I was going through this. But ultimately, I really felt God calling me to kind of retreat with him a little bit for a couple weeks and to just figure out what I could change. So I'm going to be honest and share that over the last 3.5 years that I've been coaching, I have really been trying to figure out this entire coaching thing by myself. You guys know that my upline signed me up, popped me into a training that was horrific, didn't comment on anything after the first week, and I really had no support. I was lucky if she answered me in 5 to 7 days. And honestly, it could have been like someone in my family died. I'm hanging on by a thread. I really need you. And I could see that she saw it and I wouldn't get a response. And she usually wouldn't even view it for 5 or 7 days. So I had to learn quickly, like if I was going to do this, I had to do this on my own, right? I had to do it for me and figure it out. And I knew it was going to be harder that way. Every single part of this has been harder. And I don't say this as an excuse. Why I'm sharing this with you tonight, you guys all know that. And so I don't want to harp on that either. Is I learned at the beginning very much my style is I will do whatever you tell me to do. And I think that's a really good posture for a coach or anybody who wants to be successful to have. We always share at Beachbody that success leaves clues. So if you want to get to where I am, if you want $2,000 a month, if you want whatever, you want to be Star Diamond like me, you want to win the trips like me, then you learn from me, right? You look at it and you say, Kim's not perfect. Kim doesn't know anything, but she's been in the business a lot longer than me. She's a lot more experienced than me. She knows a heck of a lot more than me right now. And so I need to show up with my learning cap on, and I need to try whatever she tells me to try. The people that do that, because that's what I did, you will be successful in business, period. And that's really like pretty much the only thing I've done right, because I had to learn from everybody else out there. So I'll tell you what I did was I looked at what every other top coach was doing, and watched their YouTube videos, logged into the team calls they were running because I didn't have any to be logged into. And I honestly found that before long, I was just going through the motions. This is probably going to be the only time you guys ever hear me just come clean about a lot of this stuff. And it's important. So the initial excitement of coaching started to wear off. And leadership is a whole different ballgame than signing up challengers and getting people to stick with their own fitness journey. It's a whole different breed. And any of you who've been in MLMC4, you know, like it is really hard when you're wired like me, where I don't give up on anybody and I see so much potential in each person on this call. It actually causes me like pain when I feel like people aren't doing much of anything and I know how much they could. However, what I've learned is I was putting it all on myself. Like, let's say Amanda wasn't doing much in her business for 2 months. I would be like, it's my fault. I didn't meet her need. I didn't do this. I didn't show her that. What could I have done better? What could I have done better? What could I have done better? And because of my personality, I started over the last several months. So in January, I drew a line in the sand and said, we're done. We're done with overworking ourselves to get the results that other teams are getting, like without working that hard. And I felt like God took me to leadership for the first time. It was something that was on my goal board 4 years ago. And I finally earned that trip to LA where they flew me out there and paid for my hotel. And I met Keisha Emery. And I'll never forget what it felt like when I heard her say, oh yeah, no, I don't even have like a new coach training. I was like, I'm sorry, what? I've spent hundreds of hours. Everybody's done mine 3 times. Currently on time number 4, trying to make it work. Like, you what? And she's like, yeah, I don't really even have a new coach welcome email. I was like, I'm sorry, come again? You don't even have an email? Like, what do you even do? Did you say welcome? Hey friend, join the team, good luck. Like, I literally couldn't understand. And as I've gotten to know, because I'm blessed to be at that level of coaching now where some of these people on the top of the network are actually friends. And I've gotten to talk with them and have like Macy on our team call and talk with people like Tracy Morrow, who's a founding coach. And I'm seeing that I'm the common denominator, and like I've been running myself into the ground to try to make this business work. And I'm not going to tell you, most of you probably need to be more like me, if I'm being honest, in terms of treat it like a business, not be lazy, work a little harder. There are people like me who are the people, honestly, usually at the top, like Ashley Smith, who try to do this all day, every day and work themselves into the ground. And that's not the example. I feel like, not that God was blocking my success, but I feel like he loved me enough to say, I'm really not going to let you rise higher at this, because you're going to live unhappy if you do this. And I don't want you to lead a team of women to work this hard at something, because anything you want to do in your life is going to be hard work. If you went and saw that Rachel Hollis film, or if you're going to go see it, like, she will tell you that. But there's a difference between working hard for something that lights your soul on fire and literally just running yourself into the ground, like all day. You guys know back in January that I was like, we're going to simplify. And I know Megan was on the call. I went live on the team page and I shared, who would like it if we just run one big group? We do it as a team and we can all just plug people in and coach them together. And everybody was like, yay, especially all my new coaches, like, this is going to be so much better. I don't have to be scared. I don't have to go run my own group. Da, da, da. What you may or may not have known is that for the 3 years previous to that, pretty much the system was you come on board as a new coach, you're in my challenge group as a challenger the first round, then you usually upgrade to a coach, you decide you want to coach, and then I let you invite people into my group, and you would do an apprentice week where you would post for a week, and that's how you would learn kind of your coach voice, and then you would go off and you would either run your own group if you actually had a lot of people, which doesn't usually happen, or you would pair up with other coaches. So if you guys didn't know that, that's just how it's always been. Like, Stephanie ran her own groups for like a year and her own free group and all this stuff. But at the time, to me, back in like December, all that, I was like, this is working. Everybody's doing all the work like themselves, right? Like, I felt like it would be better if we pulled together as a team. I feel like And then I heard Keisha Embry sharing how she lets all of her, she's like, my girls are busy. They don't have time. They work full-time jobs. They don't have time to go run their own challenge groups and make a new form for every challenge group and a new advertising for every, and all this stuff, like all the things that you can busy yourself doing in the business. They don't have time. And I was like, she's like, so I'm helping people realize how this can just fit into their lives. They can still help people. They can make some money, get their shake paid for, or build a business if they want, but it doesn't have to take over their life. And I was like, this is what I need to hear. So I'm like, I'm going to try what she's doing. Then I started talking to Macy, and I'm like, yes, okay, I want to try what Macy's doing. So herein, if you can't catch, one thing you need to know, I have been the person my whole life that if I have a question about something and I don't know what to do, I call everybody and their mother and their brother. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What should I do? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And typically no one turns around and says to me, well, Kim, what do you want? What do you think? If they did, I would tell them that I have no idea because I need to ask. I've just asked me. And I've never had my own voice. And very shortly in the business, I saw something that said, be a voice, not an echo. And I started to become an echo and Beachbody of all the other coaches. And I'm sure you guys have seen now that you're all on Instagram, you can smell a coach a mile away. They all look the same most of the time. Most of the time, they're all doing the same thing. They're wearing the same Bieber headbands. They're posting the same things. Everybody's starting to look the same. And the one thing that I've been hearing from the people that are at the top in common is I asked myself, how can I be different? Not how can I be the same? What's my unique voice? What's my story? How can I be different than every other coach out there? And I never really asked myself that. And there were times I tried to think of my avatar and my brand and all these things, and I didn't always know. So what I want to tell you guys is when I decided to simplify, I honestly thought that that would make this easier and less time consuming for my team. And because I don't have an upline and I didn't have anybody just handing me down this easy duplicate Phoenix May, it is not time. It's not time. This easy like system that could just be duplicated, that I can just plug you guys into this thing. I know you want to play. It's not time. Sean, get the dog. She wants to play. She's got energy. Oh, Phoenix. So listen, Phoenix, I love you. It's not the time. I'm on a roll. I have like 8 minutes before this cuts me off and I'm at the send of another link. You don't understand. So I feel like we are all going to have unique things that make this business challenging. Whether you're a perfectionist, whether you did an MLM before and you feel like you failed, and now you're so afraid of failing that you're cutting off any chance of success because you're not actually taking any action to get. There are so many different things that can be a struggle in this business. And the thing is, in order to be good at this business, you have to work on yourself first and foremost. And your business is never going to grow more than you do. And guess what, guys? That makes this hard. Now, it makes it awesome because you're never going to leave this business. You're never going to get to one month to the next. If your business is moving forward, that means you're moving forward. You're getting better. You're becoming a better individual, a better like follower of Christ, about all these things, a better mom, a better wife. You have to. But like growing pains are hard, right? I saw Steph post about it today. I've been posting about it. God's really been working on my heart in overdrive, and it's been painful. It's been really hard. And I had to pull away a little bit to press in because I started to feel like I tried to create systems. So you guys know way back in like January, December, I created message threads. I was like, oh, I'm going to create a message thread for my new coaches, and a message thread for Emeralds, and a message for the team. I was trying to create community on the team. That was a big thing I wanted to do. I was so tired of after 3 years feeling like I didn't have a tribe of girls that were just there for each other and loved each other. I wanted the team tank tops. I wanted the team retreats. I wanted a summit, people at summit. I wanted all these awesome things. And I didn't know how to create it because I had never been a part of it. I saw it everywhere in the network and I wanted it, but it's so hard to create something that you've never had because you don't know how. So what I can give myself credit for is I was trying, and thank God after a lot of prayer and I started to see it. I started to feel it, and more people were showing up to the calls, and we were getting our team tank tops, and more people came to Summit, and there's all kinds of great things. I feel like we all started to create message threads and talk more, talk to each other. It was awesome. But then what happened is the message threads, and I had a leadership thread, and I had so many different threads. There was so much communication all day, every day, that because I'm somebody that's a perfectionist, I felt like I had to listen to and read and answer every single message and question from every single person. And a lot of you guys were messaging me personally. Then I had the message threads, the challenge groups, the leadership calls I'm trying to prep. And I'm one person doing this with no help. Where if you didn't know, a lot of the other coaches, like Ashley Smith, all of her diamonds in her, they plan the calls. They plan the retreats. Nobody's doing this business alone usually, but I've been. It's been really hard. And I hit a wall where I felt like I was always pouring out. And exactly what we tell women they can't do, they think they can do it. But you can't just keep pouring out into your jobs and your husbands and your kids and all these things and think that you're doing this amazing job. Like, you're going to hit a wall. or you're serving and you're just cranky and snappy and stressed and unhealthy. It's taking a toll somewhere, right? And so what it happened is I started to feel like I almost started to resent the very people I was trying to help. My team. I was like, nothing's ever good enough and I can never do enough for them. And no one's sitting here saying, what can I give? What can I share? What can I do? And not that no one's ever done that. I'm just saying I started to feel that way. And I feel like my mind started to be preyed on where the joy was being stripped from the business. And I love this. I love this. And I started to feel like I didn't. So that's where I've been, guys. And I've been like, every time I would try something new, I would just feel like it wouldn't work. And so I started to just run myself into the ground. So like I said, the problem is that because I kept looking to other people, because I didn't have this great example from some coach, there's been a lot of back and forth. And I'm sure a lot of you are like, oh my gosh, like one day we're doing this as a team, this day we're not, this day we're doing this day we're not. And I get that it's been trying, and I'm sorry. What I can tell you is it's messy. Coaching's messy. Faith is messy. Leadership is messy. It is. But at least you guys, at the end of the day, I hope that it counts for something, that you have a leader who has never given up. You guys are going to see me fail. You're going to see me fall. You're going to see me suck at things royally, but you're never going to see me quit. Never. Never on one of you, never on this team, never on myself. And I can apologize for the craziness lately, but ultimately you guys are all going to go through seasons. Maybe your marriage is falling apart. Maybe it's a tough time. Maybe you found out your husband cheated on me. Maybe a kid gets sick. Maybe there's a diagnosis. This is when we need each other the most. And so for the few of you that messaged that you were praying for me and that you were all these things, it meant a lot. It brought me to tears because I needed everybody more than I ever really have before in this time. I started to let every lie about myself take over to the point that I just was like, I should quit because these girls are better off without me. I am never going to be able to be the leader that they need me to be. My sin runs so deep. What you guys don't know is I was getting beaten at every angle. Some of you, I might have shared this in the live, I started to hear my son talking like me. I talk very authoritatively. I've always been A-type and all that. And I'm noticing a lot of the women at the top of this business they all struggle with the same things. But here's where it comes into you guys and why this matters. I am going to confess something to you right now that I would rather not. Since I was in grade school, I hated group work. I hated it in college and in middle school and in high school. But everybody wanted to be paired up with me because I never thought anybody could do anything as good as me. And so I just wanted to do it myself. So they wanted to be paired up with me because I was like, I'm just going to do it all. Here's the problem. What does that make for? A really crappy leader. Because you can't empower other people that they can do it and be like, you're awesome and you've got gifts and strength and things. You can do this and better than I can. If you don't actually believe that, like if you really think that you're just the best and you're always going to be the best and you're running yourself into the ground, that's bad leadership. And I have struggled with feeling like I've never wanted anybody to fail at this because I believe in all of you so much and I want this for all of you so much. So I wanted to minimize and avoid any mistakes you could make. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to do it for them. I'm just going to run these scripts. They could just put people in and I'm just going to give them all my scripts and they could just copy, paste, and post. I just kept trying to run myself into the ground to do everything for you guys. And what I found was it didn't work. The very thing that I was trying to I wanted to prevent you guys from making mistakes. But then I looked back and the reason I'm still here, what's grown me the most and taught me the most is my mistakes and my failures. And if I try to prevent you guys from making those by giving you all my stuff or doing it for you, you're never going to grow and you're never going to realize that this is for you and that you can do it. So we've gone so back and forth between all of these things, trying to do small groups and coaches do their own and there was reasons that I never felt like I was always trying to do it better. Like, well, okay, well, no, it's too small. If they try to just do their own group and they only have 1 or 2 people each, it won't be enough energy. So let me do that. And I'm always trying to figure out how can I do it better. God love me. But guys, that was wrong of me. And because I had no support from my coach, and I know how hard that is, I never, ever wanted that to be your story. I wanted to give you guys everything I never had. But when we're coming from a place of pain or hurt, it's not good. So I don't want that anymore. I asked God how I could become a leader of this team this year and lead with belief, and how I can instill and infuse so much belief in each and one of you. I don't care if you hit Success Cup. I don't care if you ever rank advanced. I care that you believe in yourself. I care that you feel like you can do this, and that you know that you have a coach who believes in you and knows that you can do it. Whether that's in 10 years or 2 months or tomorrow or never, I want you to know that. I want you to have that in your life. I'm going to have to send another link in the message thread. Is anyone surprised? But I can't like end a call while I'm crying. So I want to just share. It's just going to come out. Let me send this. And I had to do a second recording. Why don't I just pay for Zoom again? Why? And stop this ridiculous nonsense of acting like I can ever do this in less than 40 minutes, because it's just ridiculous. Okay.